on. Today we're doing Amud Tetvav, Daf Tetvav Amud Aleph. We are on the very bottom of Yud Dalet Amud Bet, where it says Tashema, 5 lines from the bottom. It says Tashema. So the Gemara still has the same agenda. We're trying to bring proofs whether Beit Shammai followed their own psak when they had a machloka with Beit Hillel, or whether they followed like Beit Hillel. So the Gemara says, Tashma, let me bring you a proof that they followed their own psak. Dam Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri, He'ach halacha zo rovachat beYisrael. Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri said, at the end of the day, what are we going to do? How is this halacha going to be spread? How is it going to be practiced? The halacha of what to do with the co-wife of a tzarat erva. The co-wife of an erva. So he explains, Naaseh kedivrei Beit Shammai, if we do like Beit Shammai and we allow them to do yibum, so havlad mamzer divrei Beit Hillel, you're going to be having children that are mamzerim according to Beit Hillel. Naaseh kedivrei Beit Hillel, if we do like Beit Hillel, havlad pagum ledivrei Beit Shammai, the child is going to be pagum according to Beit Shammai, meaning it's not going to be a mamzer. Rashi explains this is going according to the opinion that this type of relationship, a Yevamot, right. So Rashi says according to this opinion, it's gonna be a halal. Now we're gonna get to that sugya later, but there is an opinion that such a relationship, a Yevamah l'shuk, would create a halal. A Yevamah who requires yibum, because according to Beit Shammai, she requires yibum or chalitza, but Beit Hillel is just letting her go get married to somebody else. So according to some opinions, that would create a halal. So either way, he says, what are you going to do? You can't let her do yibum, because then the children are going to be mamzerim according to Beit Hillel. You can't let her marry somebody else without anything, because then according to Beit Shammai, it's no good. So bo untaken lahen letzarot sheyu cholitzot v'lo mityavamot. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri had an idea. He said, listen, the way we should teach this halacha, we should make it that the tzarot of an erva will always do chalitza, never yibum. Then, according to Beit Shammai, it's fine. You did chalitza. She requires chalitza. You did chalitza. And according to Beit Hillel, it's also not a problem. She doesn't require anything. Okay, but we're making a gezerah that you have to do chalitza, just to be on the safe side, to cover all bases, according to Beit Hillel. So that's what Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri wanted to do. He wanted to make a standard halacha, to make it that everybody does chalitza. So v'lo hispiku ligmor et hadavar ad sheniftera hasha'a. But they didn't let him. They didn't let them complete it until the time was out. Meaning, like Minas Shammai, they didn't work it out for this to happen. They didn't let it be that he would arrange for them to do chalitza. So Amar Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel, and this is the important line. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel said to him, "Ma na'aseh lahem letzarot harishonot me'ata." He said, I don't understand your suggestion. You're suggesting that we should make a suggestion that everybody should do chalitza. Well, what's going to be with the tzarot harishonot? What's going to be with the original ones? So the understanding at this point, the havamina is, that we're talking about, according to Beit Hillel, Beit Shammai's people, they did yibum in such cases. And what are we going to do about the cases that already did yibum? Right? That's what he means. Manaseh. What are we going to do about the tzarot that already did yibum? Manaseh lahem letzarot harishonot me'ata. So the Gemara, that's the braita, that's the discussion, that's the back and forth. So the Gemara says, okay, let's see. If you say Beit Shammai did like their own psak, so that makes very good sense. That's why Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel is saying, what are we going to do about the people that already did yibum? That means that Beit Shammai already did like himself. Ella yamrid lo asu, but if you say Beit Shammai did not follow their own psak, so my manaseh, what does Rabban Shimon Gamliel mean when he says, what are we going to do about the tzarot that already What do you mean? They didn't already do Yibum. They were their own. They did all like Beit Hillel. So, Amar Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak says no. You don't necessarily have a proof from there that Beit Shammai did like their own psak. Lo nitzracha ela letzara atzma. When he says, what are we going to do about the tzarot, he doesn't mean the tzarot that already did Yibum according to Beit Shammai. He's referring to the tzara herself. What are we going to do about the tzara herself? This is what he means. Hanach tzarot de Beit Hillel le Beit Shammai hechi na'avid. Again, Beit Shammai requires either Yibum or Chalitza, and Beit Hillel let them get married. So he says, really what happened is everybody did like Beit Hillel. It's possible to say, meaning he's getting out of the proof. He's saying maybe everybody really did like Beit Hillel, and they went and got married to somebody else with no Yibum and no Chalitza. So in those cases, what are we going to do? Beit Shammai required Chalitza, and Beit Hillel let the lady go without Chalitza. So what are we going to do about the cases that the lady is already married? You want to come now and say, no, everybody has to do Chalitza. What are we going to do about the cases that the lady already married somebody else? What are we going to do about them? If we say, you know what, right now, do Chalitza. Okay, she was married, okay, fine, so whatever, but let the brother come and do Chalitza now. On the lady who, so let's say you have a case of a lady who was a tzarat erva, she was a co-wife of an erva. So according to
Beit Hillel could marry somebody else.
According to Beit Hillel, she can marry somebody else. According to Beit Shammai, she needs Chalitza first. Okay?
She goes and marries somebody else.
Yes, so now we're saying really it could be everyone did like Beit Hillel and they let her get married to somebody else. But according to Beit Shammai, this child, she did something not allowed. So we want to make a gezerah that everybody should do Chalitza. All these cases should do Chalitza. So the Gemara says, okay, what are you going to do about the lady who's already married though? She already married somebody else. Yeah, she already. You're making an institution that from now on all these cases will have to do chalitza. That works from now on. But what are you going to do about the lady who? Some lady. This happened last month. Tzarat erva went and got married. What are you going to do about her? Okay. So if you say, you know what, she's married, fine. Let her get chalitza. Let the guy come and do chalitza now. Let them do chalitza now.
I mean, she's already married to Reuben, and Shimon comes and gives a chalitza to her.
Yeah, meaning he's saying, what are we going to do about them? Is this a suggestion to do chalitza now? That doesn't fit. But listen to the reason of the Gemara why it's no good. It says, Hechi na'avid lich litzu. If you're going to say that they should do chalitza, mema'asi agavraihu. It's not going to be good for their shalom bayit. Their husband is going to be a little bit like, it's not going to look good for the husband. He's not going to be happy that now his wife is...
Somebody has a divorce case.
Yeah, his wife was somebody that was rejected by someone else that was not... It's not going to be the best thing for their shalom bayit. V'chi tema lema'asan. Maybe you'll tell me, it doesn't matter, do it anyways. Let put the wife down in front of the husband. It's not the end of the world. The Gemara says no, it is at the end of the world. Pasuk says has to be done. The derech of Torah is b'shalom, not to do something like that. Therefore, so they didn't end up doing it anyways. They never made this takana that you have to do chalitza. But either way, we tried to prove from here that Beit Shammai did like their own psak, and the Gemara says, no, you don't have a proof from there. It's possible that they did like Beit Hillel. You could still learn this.
But Beit Shammai didn't follow his own rule on this case?
We tried to...
in their tribe, okay?
So that's exactly the discussion. We tried to bring a proof from here that they did, but the Gemara says, no, I could learn this in a different way. Not necessarily is it a good proof. So now we go to the next proof. Tashema. Dama Rabbi Tarfon. Rabbi Tarfon said Rabbi Tarfon was part of Beit Shammai. So Dama Rabbi Tarfon, Ta'avni matai tavot tzarat abad liadi ve'esaena. Rabbi Tarfon said, I can't wait until I have a case of tzarat habat and I can marry her. Meaning, it sounds like he's from Beit Shammai and he's saying, I'll marry the tzarat habat to do like Beit Shammai, to do yibum. So the Gemara says, no, Ema ve'asiena. Not that I'm going to marry her. I'm going to allow her to marry. I'm going to be the posek that's going to allow her to marry. Like like Beit Hillel, not like Beit Shammai. So Gemara says, "V'ha ta'avni kamar," but he said, I can't wait for it. I have a ta'ava for it. It's made lafukim to Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. He's coming to say, not like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri that they need chalitza, but I have a ta'ava to give this psak, not like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Okay, Tashema. Maaseh bebito shel Rabban Gamliel, שהייתה נשואה לאבא אחיו. So Rabban Gamliel's daughter was married to his brother.
His uncle.
Yeah, her uncle, his brother, right. Vemet belo banim, and he died without children. So Rabban Gamliel's daughter and the tzara, the other wife, fell to him for yibum. Veyibem, and Rabban Gamliel et tzaratan. Rabban Gamliel did yibum to the tzara. So
Wait a second, what's happening here?
So Rabban Gamliel, basically regular case of...
His father went to do yibum from his daughter?
No, to the tzara, to the other wife. So this is exactly the machloket Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel, right? Rabban Gamliel's brother was married to his daughter and some other woman.
Somebody has to yibum his wife.
Yeah, so he had two wives. One of them was Rabban Gamliel's daughter. One of them was some other woman.
Okay.
So Rabban Gamliel's daughter obviously can't do yibum. That everyone agrees. The other woman is a machloket Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. Beit Shammai says she could do yibum. Beit Hillel says no. So it says Rabban Gamliel did yibum to the tzara. So the Gemara says, 1 second. This makes no sense. V'tizbar Rabban Gamliel mitalmidei Beit Shammai hu. Rabban Gamliel is from the Talmidim of Beit Shammai? No, Rabban Gamliel comes from the direct lineage of Hillel. So why would he do such a thing? So Ella Shani Bito Rabban Gamliel de Ailonit Havai. The daughter of Rabban Gamliel was an Ailonit, which means that marriage of his daughter to his brother was not a good marriage. It was a mekach taut. And Ailonit is pitura from Yibum.
How do you know?
Well, okay, so let's backtrack, right? We did this. We covered the sugya of Ailonit and Tzarat Ailonit before. Basically, an Ailonit is a woman who, the way she develops, she cannot have children.
Oh, yeah.
So there are two reasons why there would be no yibum by an Ailonit. One is because it's a mekach ta'ut. The marriage was not a valid marriage because the person married the woman expecting that she should be able to have children. And when he finds out that she has this issue, that she's an Ailonit, the marriage is off. It's like it never happens. It's a mekach ta'ut. That's a okay. We're gonna get there. That's the original understanding. Okay. Now, if the husband doesn't care and he wants to keep her anyways, according to that understanding, it would be a good marriage.
Yeah.
But according to the other understanding, there's another understanding that Ailonit is there's a petur from Yibum altogether because of the pasuk says Habachor Asher Teled, right? So therefore she exits the whole parsha of Yibum, and we don't even view her at all, even if the husband knows that she's an Ailonit and he accepted it and it's a valid marriage, but we don't view her as part of the marriage when it comes to Yibum, and he could take that tzara. So those are two different understandings of when an Ailonit is pitura from Yibum. One understanding is it's only a mekach ta'ut when the husband doesn't know about it, and if he were to find out about it, the marriage would be off. But if not, then it would be a valid marriage. The other understanding is no, either way there's a petura of Yibum. So the Gemara is saying either way, Rabban Gamliel's daughter was an Ailonit. So the Gemara says, Ha midiktani seifa, acherim omrim bito shel Rabban Gamliel Ailonit haita, mechlal Tanakama savra lav Ailonit haita. Says in the seifa, the next opinion says that Rabban Gamliel's daughter was an Ailonit. So it sounds like the first opinion holds that Rabban Gamliel's daughter was not an Ailonit. So what are you telling me? He did yibum to the tzara because his daughter was an Ailonit? Well, the second opinion says that. What about the first opinion? What about the Tanakama? So the Gemara gives a few different explanations. Hikir ba v'lo hikir ba ika benaihu. The first opinion was talking about exactly what we just went through. The first opinion is talking about an Ailonit that he didn't know that she was an Ailonit, and it was working not because she was an island, because it was a mekach ta'ut. The mechanism of the patur of yibum was, or the reason that he was allowed to do yibum to the tzara was because it was a mekach ta'ut, and that's why he was allowed to do yibum. The second opinion is saying no, the husband knew that she was an Ailonit and still he was doing yibum to the tzara because there's a patur of Ailonit altogether and she's not even in the parsha of yibum, therefore he was allowed to do yibum to the tzara. Or a different machloket that we had in the past, if the guy divorced one of the ladies and then he divorced the tzara, right? You have someone who's married to two ladies, an erva of his brother and another lady, and then he dies. So if he divorces the erva before he dies, we had a machloket whether or not the tzara can do yibum. So the Gemara suggests maybe that's the machloket. Kanasul b'sof giresh ike benayhu. That according to right, Rashi speaks it out. According to the Tanakama, he divorced his daughter, and that's why he's able to marry the tzara. And according to the second opinion, no, he even though he divorced a daughter, he's not allowed to marry the tzara. The only reason he was allowed to marry was because she came out to be an Ailonit, so there was no marriage altogether. Or another way of understanding is there's a machloket here, yesh tenai bebiyah. So somebody who marries a lady al tenai, that there's no mum or neder or something that she has that would disqualify the marriage. There's a machloket if he's with her and then he finds that he has these mumin, do we say it's a mekach ta'ut or not? So this was, the Gemara suggests that maybe this was the case. According to the first opinion, there was some type of mekach ta'ut, some tanai that he made. He said, I'm marrying you on condition that this, and it was found out that tanai was fulfilled or not fulfilled, and was a mekach ta'ut, according to the first opinion. According to the second opinion, it wasn't a mekach ta'ut because he decided to be with her anyways, and they were together, therefore that shows that he didn't care, and the reason that he was allowed to marry the tzara was because the daughter was an Ailonit. Okay, either way, we have no proof from there whether Beit Shammai did like what they did or not. So Mativ Rav Misharshia. So Rav Misharshia, he asks from the following. Ma'aseh Rabbi Akiva, sheliket etrog be'echad b'shvat, v'nahag bo shnei isurim. Echad k'divrei Beit Shammai, v'echad k'divrei Beit Hillel. So you have Rabbi Akiva, who he picked an etrog on the first of Shvat. Now, what year is this? There's different things that need to be given from different types of maaser that need to be given from different years. So there's a window, right? According to Beit Shammai, the cutoff of the year is the first of Shvat. According to Beit Hillel, the cutoff of the year is Tu B'Shvat. So if he picked it after the first of Shvat, before Tu B'Shvat, according to Beit Shammai, it's the previous year. According to Beit Hillel, it's the next year. So he picked this etrog. Rabbi Akiva picked the etrog, and he didn't know what to do. And Rashi explains this was between the second year and the third year of the cycle. So if it's the second year, he has to give maaser sheni. Let me just read this Rashi. ושנה השנייה הנכנסת לשלישית הייתה ונהג בה שני ייסורין מעשר שני כבית הילג דאמרינם בט"ו בשבט. Right. ראש השנה לענות. והכד השנייה היא ומעשר אני כבית שמאי. Right. So if it's the third year, he would have to give, meaning if the first of Shvat is the new year, so then this is the third year of the cycle, and therefore the fruit he has to give maaser ani. If Tu B'Shvat is the Rosh Hashanah, is the cutoff, so then this is the second year, and he has to give Maaser Sheni. So when he picked his etrog, he did both. He said, listen, according to one, it's the second year, according to one, it's the third year. So he did like Beit Shammai and like Beit Hillel. He gave Maaser Ani, if it's a third, in case it's a third year, and he gave Maaser Sheni in case it's a second year. So the Gemara says he took V'nagbo Shnei Isurin. He took two types of Maaser. Echad Kedvei Beit Shammai, Echad Kedvei Beit Hillel. One like Beit Shammai Maaser Sheni for the second year. Like Beit Shammai would be for the third year. Maaser Ani for the third year. V'echad Kedvei Beit Hillel Maaser Sheni for the second year. So Shema Mina Asu. So what do you see from here? You see that Abriut. You see that Beit Shammai did like their own psak. So the Gemara says, The Gemara says, Rabbi Akiva Gamre Istapikle. Rabbi Akiva, his learning, he had a safek in his learning. V'lo yadai Beit Hillel be'echad b'shvat amur o betu b'shvat. He wasn't saying, Beit Shammai does like them and Beit Hillel does like... No, everyone does the same thing. He just forgot what does Beit Hillel... Everyone does like Beit Hillel. It could be everyone does like Beit Hillel. The reason Rabbi Akiva took two over here is because he forgot which one Beit Hillel held. Did Beit Hillel hold it's a second year now, or does Beit Hillel hold it's a third year now? What do I give? Maaser Sheni, Maaser Ani. Therefore, he gave both. Not because Beit Shammai does one way and Beit Hillel does another way. Everyone does like Beit Hillel. It's just Rabbi Akiva forgot which one Beit Hillel said. Okay, Mativ Marzutra. Marzutra asks the following question. Maaseh v'yalda kalato shel Shammai hazaken upichet et hama'aziva v'sikech al gabei mita. So there's a background information for this is Beit Shammai holds that a baby also has to be in a sukkah. A baby boy is chayav in sukkah. Boys are chayav in sukkah, even a baby. Not like Beit Hillel. So, yeah. So, but Beit Shammai says a chiyuv sukkah even for a baby. So there was a story that the kala of Shammai, the daughter-in-law of Shammai Hazaken, she had a baby on Sukkot. And what did he do? Pichet et ha'ma'aziva v'sikech al gabav. That room, or whatever, she had a baby before Sukkot. But the point is there was a baby on Sukkot. So the room where the baby was, he took off the roof of the room, he broke through the plaster, and he put schach on top so the baby would be in the sukkah.
Who did it?
Bishvil Katan. Shammai. So Shema Mina Asu. So you see from here, Shammai did like their own psak. So the Gemara says, no, over there, it's not so clear that they did it as a psak. Why? Because Hatam Haro'e Omer La'afushe Avir Ka'avid. Meaning, remember, the whole issue we had was lo titko to do. It looks like, if they do like their own psak, it looks like there's two different Torahs. This guy's following this halacha, that guy's following that halacha. But over here, he opened up the windows in the room. He made more of an airflow. So the Gemara says, you don't have a proof that he's doing it because you don't have proof from here that they follow all of their psak. Over there, just haro'e omer la'afushe avir ka'avid. The guy who's looking and he sees Beit Shammai doing this, he thinks, okay, he's just trying to get some more airflow. He wants to make the room more like a sunroom outside. So that's why he's doing it.
It was meant to make it sechach, yeah?
Right.
It was meant to make it sukkah.
Right. It could be that it's just he just wanted to take down the ceiling to make more airflow.
Doesn't make sense. What's going to come here to tear the ceiling up with the sechach and make the
So yeah, nowadays doesn't make sense. But I'm saying back then it seems like that was something that was done enough. They would
to circulate the air.
To circulate the air during the different seasons, whatever it may be, to take off and. They didn't always have the it's stone wall structure. It's not so easy to open to create a window, but in a scenario where the ceiling is wood and plaster, so they break through the plaster and make some type of more air-friendly ceiling was something that it seems like it was at least done enough that people wouldn't assume that it was for the purpose of
If everybody do that at that time, I understand.
So it seems like enough.
But nobody did it except him.
No, so it seems like there was enough of this was done enough that it doesn't look that it's clearly for the purpose of Sukkot. That's what the Gemara is saying. Okay, Marzutra, let's go a little bit further. Marzutra, Mativ Marzutra. Marzutra asked the following. He says, Maaseh Beshokat Yehu. So Shokat Yehu was this, some type of, it was like by a mountain, they had this mikveh. And the way the mikveh was it was attached to, it didn't have, the body itself didn't have 40 sa'ah, but there was like it was attached. There was a hole in the stone, and it was attached to a full body of a full shiur of a mikveh. That's what I believe Rashi says over here. So, yeah, Rashi says shokat yehu shokat even chalula shahayta tzinor hamkaleach mayim minahar v'hayta nigrat shokat yehu. Basically, there was a pipe like feeding out water to from kosher mikveh out into a different little area. So that water was technically kosher mikveh. So Yishayta b'Yushalayim v'hayta nikuva lemikveh. It had a hole in the stone to connect it to the mikveh. V'chol ta'arot shehayu b'Yushalayim na'asim al gaba. Everybody who took their stuff to the mikveh over there. V'shalchu Beit Shammai v'yirchivua. Beit Shammai, they held, there's a machlok at how big the hole needs to be to connect to the mikveh. So Beit Shammai, they held that the hole wasn't big enough, so they made the hole bigger. So Beit Shammai omrim ad shifatach beruba. Beit Shammai hold that they held that the hole has to be bigger. V'tnan eruv mikvot kishfoferet anod behuvehu chalaleha k'shnei etzbaot chozer limkoman. So we learned that according to Beit Hillel, the hole has to be the size of a shvoferet hanod, has to be the size of the hole of a pitcher, and it has to be like 2 fingers chozer limkoman that could turn around the 2 fingers in the hole. Right? We had this before in Chagiga. So what do you see from here? Shema mina asu. You see from here that they did. Beit Shammai did like their own psak. So says the Gemara, no. Hatam haroe omer laafushe mayahu deka'avid. Over there, the one who's on look doesn't. It's not clear that they did it for halachic purpose. It could just be that they widened it because it looks like they widened it because they want more water to come out. So there's no clear, it doesn't look so clearly that they did it for halachic purpose.